Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Just Good Games. So, during Sony's most recent State of Play event, they announced the release date for The Last of Us Part 2, which is really near my birthday, so that will be a present to myself. And then, like they almost had it planned perfectly beforehand, a few hours later it was announced that one of the PlayStation Plus games for October will be none other than The Last of Us Remastered. The Last of Us was first released on PlayStation 3 in June 2013 and was met with critical acclaim. This game is never too far from the top of most people's lists of greatest game of all time, and no list of top 10 PlayStation games would be complete without it. Then, in July 2014, it was remastered and released on PlayStation 4. Before the remastered version ended up on PlayStation Plus, I'd actually never played the remastered version, but I did complete the original version. And obviously, now that it is on PlayStation Plus, I have downloaded it and I am going through it at the moment, and it is as good as I remember it being. Even better, maybe. I don't really need an excuse to talk about this great game, but Sony putting it on PlayStation Plus this month has given me that excuse, and now I'm just going to talk about why this game is so good. First off is the gameplay. Naughty Dog took all that they learned from the Uncharted series and then managed to somehow improve on it even more. The gunplay is pretty much the same as Uncharted, but there is now much more emphasis on stealth and survival. Ammo is sparse, with you really just having enough to get by. You're never too overstocked on anything, which is again true when it comes to the crafting mechanic. The crafting mechanic allows you to craft useful items like shivs and makeshift grenades to help with defeating your enemies. This means you have to scavenge items and use them to craft them, but again, like the ammo, these are at a premium. This means you have to be clever when engaging your enemies and you have to pick your spots. You might find yourself mid-firefight without any ammo, so it is encouraged that you try to get a few stealth kills before engaging in an all-out war. But what's even more satisfying is taking out an entire group without being spotted. Sure, there are moments in this game when you have to bring out your guns and you have to have a big firefight, but the stealth and survival aspect of this game really makes it seem like you are in a post-apocalyptic world. Also, Ellie is definitely one of the better AI partners and comes in handy during firefights and puzzles and gives you items just at the right moment. Everything which I've just mentioned ramps up even more in the higher difficulties, with grounded difficulty being absolutely ridiculous. It's so hard. Next up is the story, and it is absolutely amazing. But if I told you the outline of the story, you would just think it's just another generic post-apocalyptic zombie game. But it's what they do with it and the twists and turns that make this game so good. It is set over a year, with each season acting as pretty much like the start of a new section of the game. But literally from the gut punch of a beginning to, well, the gut punch of an ending, this game is an absolute joy to play. Which brings me on to the question, why is this game so good? We are going into heavy spoiler territory now, so be warned. Some games have great gameplay and not so good story. Some have good story but rubbish gameplay. The Last of Us has great gameplay and great story. And when this happens in a game, you get what all gamers live for, and that is moments. If you take any of the top games over the past 20 years or so and say to gamers just the name of the game, these moments will pop into their head. If I said Bioshock, you'd have Enter in Rapture and Would You Kindly. Red Dead Redemption, Enter in Mexico for the first time, and that amazing ending. The PlayStation 4's God of War, Fighting the Stranger and the Blades of Chaos. I could go on. The Last of Us has loads of these moments which stick with you forever. Sarah's death at the start is one of the most memorable and emotional openings to a game ever. Finding those giraffe is a nice cool down moment. The decision Joel has to make at the end to save Ellie, and the many, many more moments which will stay with you forever and instantly pop into your mind when someone says The Last of Us. My personal set piece / moment is when Ellie and Joel are separated and Joel wakes up and Ellie is fighting David and it keeps swapping between the two. It's so intense and so amazing. All the game's moments are absolutely amazing, but the game's biggest legacy and its biggest influence on the gaming world, and you can easily see that influence in a game which I mentioned earlier, God of War, is the way that it uses the parental relationship. It takes an experience which pretty much everyone has experienced at some point in their life, and you can be on either side of it, parent or child, and it puts that directly at the centre of the game. You can have a good or you can have a bad relationship with your parents or with your son or daughter, but when you play through this game, you understand the emotion, you understand what Joel and Ellie are going through, as literally, basically, the emotions which they feel are what you've maybe been through yourself just through having that relationship. That is the core of the game. And so, as long as you have that parental relationship at the core of the game, you can put it in outlandish situations like a post-apocalyptic world or in Norse mythology, and it still works. So many games have tried it since, and only God of War has really reached that pinnacle which The Last of Us set. Even films have tried to do it. You can just see like some films or some games have that father-daughter like relationship going on, and you just look at it and you go, oh, they're trying to do The Last of Us. And this is ultimately why this game will endure, as it is a relationship which people will have forever, and that's not going to change. Number 2 has one of the highest bars to clear to be better or even get close to how good this game is. But if there's a developer who can do it, I believe Naughty Dog can. Playing through the start of this game again over the past couple of days has actually made me realise how good this game is. I played it at the end of my PlayStation 3 cycle and was more excited about PlayStation 4, so maybe I didn't take it in as much as I should have the first time round. This game probably should have actually been in my 10 favourite games of all time list. So if I was to do another version of that in a couple of years' time, this game would definitely be in there. The Last of Us Remastered is a fantastic game, and it is a game which will probably live forever. It will be atop of the list forever. It is just superb. You now have no excuse if you own a PlayStation not to get this game and not to play this game. So log onto your PlayStation now, stick it in your download list and just play it, and it will not disappoint you. So there you have it. That was my look back at The Last of Us and The Last of Us Remastered. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you to anyone who has subscribed so far. And obviously like, share, comment, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Again, subscribe on YouTube. I love a new subscriber. And once again, you have been watching Just Good Games, The Last of Us Remastered in depth.